In this video, I want to make my own coleslaw from scratch because I'm making some pork spare ribs, and coleslaw is really good with ribs. I like coleslaw, but I'm fussy about it. I don't like it too sweet. I don't like it too sour. I don't want it dripping with dressing. So I make my own, and I can make it the way that I like it. You can make coleslaw as complex and fancy as you want, or as simple as you want. I've seen some really colorful coleslaw where they put in peas, they put in chopped bell peppers, the red, the gold, the green, lots of color in it. I'm going to make a fairly classic, simple coleslaw. The only thing I'm going to do that's really different is I'm going to put in some apple. It'll add some sweetness, which means I can use less sugar in the dressing. So let's make coleslaw. I have here about 2/3 of a cup, that's 140 grams of mayonnaise. I'm going to put in a bowl. And then I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of vinegar. You can use distilled white vinegar. I'm using tarragon vinegar. Just a couple tablespoons there. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper, and then a pinch of salt, maybe 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then what I'm going to do, because I think this dressing is going to need a little bit of color, I'm going to put a pinch of fresh chopped parsley in there. That's optional. And there it is. There's my dressing for my coleslaw. I'm going to use my rotary cutter here to shred my cabbage because I can set it to a very small setting and it'll give me a nice fine shred. It's a little noisy, but it does a good job. Get that on there and get started. Okay, so there is, let me get this out of the way. There is all of my shredded cabbage. That's a nice, fairly fine shred. There it is, beautiful. That's just half of the cabbage. If you wanted to make a lot, do a whole head of cabbage. I have here about 1/4 of an onion. I only really need about 2 tablespoons of shredded onion in my coleslaw. So I'm going to shred this. And I'm not even going to use all of this. Just to give me about, again, about 2 tablespoons. That right there should be plenty. So that goes into my bowl. I'm going to do the same thing with a carrot. I've got a medium-sized carrot here, and I'm going to use the whole carrot for this. Okay, that's good enough. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice shredded carrot there. That goes into my bowl. I mentioned at the beginning that my departure from the traditional recipe was to use an apple. This is a Gala apple that I chose more for color than anything else. I'm going to use half of the apple inside of my coleslaw. The other half I'm going to set aside for garnish. I'll show you that in a bit. Now, using a vegetable peeler, what I'm going to do is, staying away from the core, I'm going to work around the edge of the apple and cut some slices of apple to go inside. Flakes of apple. Think of flakes. Like so. And that'll give a little bit of sweetness, a nice flavor, and maybe a bit of a surprise to the flavor of the coleslaw. I'm ready to put my dressing in there. I'm wearing a glove, because many years ago when I worked in a kitchen, one of the cooks taught me this next step. So there's my dressing in there. And this is what she taught me. Get your hand into the food. Get it all mixed in. You can work gently. You don't want to crush everything. But she used to say the hand is a lot more efficient than a spoon. So get your hand into the food. So you want to get this all mixed up so that everything is coated. It's not like making a batter, you just want to coat all the ingredients. Now, one of the recipes I saw said that this should be covered and put in the refrigerator for 3 hours before serving. I'm not sure exactly why. I'm thinking maybe the vinegar and the salt will wilt the cabbage a little bit and make a more tender coleslaw. To me, it all depends on how you like it. If you want a really crisp coleslaw, serve it right away. But if you like it more tender, put it in the refrigerator for a few hours. And again, I'm thinking the salt and the vinegar might wilt the cabbage a little bit. There it is. I used the other half of the apple by slicing it again with a vegetable peeler. And then I kept it in lemon juice so that it wouldn't turn brown. But that now is ready to serve. I put some coleslaw in a little bowl for myself so I can see what this tastes like. Yeah. See, that's good. You can taste the apple in there. It's not cloyingly sweet. It's not overly sour. It's got a nice balance of flavors. That is a very delicious coleslaw. So excuse me, I'm going to enjoy my little snack of coleslaw. For a printable PDF copy of this recipe with step-by-step photographs, visit my website, mobilehomegourmet.com, and look on the home page or in the recipe archive.